thank you, goodbye. You can take that approach, or you can say some, word salad about how.
The fascial sling and how when you're actually creating.
Yeah, say something with 3 syllables and just watch them glaze out, and you're like, great, move on.
Yeah. So but most people for a Hatfield, I mean, obviously if someone's doing a Hatfield reverse lunge, I'm not like that one. We're probably
Body weight.
We're gonna transition them to fingertips, but if they're putting a barbell, like a safety bar on their back, most cases it's I need
strength.
to hold on to these.
Yeah.
Okay.
You want to load that up as heavy as possible?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have used it, but again, this is a conversational piece to them from your brain. Like with Pam, I've used the Hatfield to train her squat position because she has a hard time with it. So what do? I add some stability. I say chest up, sit straight down. So the pattern is much more easier to get to because you add some stability to it. And then ideally we start to remove that stability and she can do that squat pattern without the stability. And then load it. So sometimes it's a skill acquisition thing. I add stability to learn the skill. That's like 2 hands, genie shed lock, range of motion. And then we go 1 hand ipsilateral. Now we're doing, you can death grip it. She's got the range of motion. I'm not worried about that anymore. I want her to grab this so she can load the shit out of it. Maybe we do unbalanced or no stability with load to challenge the stabilizer muscles a little bit more. But, it's kind of like a do what you want.
And I always think, like, especially with the body weight ones, because that's where it's a little harder, but you're like, how can you maintain position? So I'm fine with you, like, going death grip or even going soft fingers if you're at the body weight level and I'm trying to progress you doing it by yourself.
Yep.
But if you're not able to maintain the torso position and shin position that I'm looking for in that movement, regardless of whatever it is, then I do need you to create that extra stimulus of stability so you can maintain that position so I can get you stronger in that position. And that's usually where, but if you hold in here, then you can keep trunked nice and tall. That's going to help you get down and up off the floor. So I just make it relatable and explain that piece. So I always think, like, if I'm not getting position,
it's understanding too, and Ethan's kind of circled around this, like, what is the ultimate goal? Because I think of, like, at CatFit, Nancy Clark, right? And every time you try to give her something, she's like, no, I'm going to try to do it on my own. And you're like, no, Nancy, I actually want you to hold this. And she's like, no, I need to figure out how to do it without holding on. I'm like, so you're trying to understand how to communicate to the client that we're not trying to teach you how to be stable at this moment. We are actually trying to teach you how to be strong. So we need you to understand that your muscle needs to grow now, and then we can work on something different. It's like cart before the horse.
That reminds me, I had this guy at Prescript level 3, like when I was doing that one, and beast of an athlete, but frick of a human being, and like did not want to be taught or coached by anyone. And they warned me after day 1 of like coaching him all day, but it was already fine. But afterwards, I had this knowledge that he did not want to be regressed. Do not regress him. And so I literally told him, I was like, bro, since you're actually like moving so well, like let's load this thing up a little bit more, like and put a heel wedge underneath your foot when you're doing these lateral lunges. That's because he couldn't keep his heel down. It was a regression. It was like, because you're doing so good, like let's weight this up. So like sometimes it could be with Nancy Clark. No, I know. But like since you're actually doing really good without, like we actually need to get stronger to stabilize here. So since you're actually progressing with this, let's just grip this and get really strong. Like if you celebrate it from like it's a progression, sometimes that works.
I think they think it's cheating.
That word.
That's the biggest she's always there, or a lot of people like CatFit too. They're like, no, but if I hold down, isn't it?
I'm cheating.
Yeah. She's like, no, I don't want to hold on. And she was kind of like arguing with me, like, no, I'm not going to hold on, I'm not going to hold on. And then I was like, okay, we'll do one set without holding on, and the next set we're going to try to hold on, and we're going to see which one feels better. Held on, she's like, oh my god, I can get deeper. I feel like my muscles are burning.
Okay.
I'm like, what?
Yeah.
This is a really good. I like to think about that conversation you had with her. You have a why in your head of why she should be doing this, and she doesn't know that. And her why currently for what the goals she wants, right or wrong, are more correct than you. So when she says that to you and is like, no, I'm cheating, and you're like, okay, we'll try it. She just thinks that her why and understanding of that movement and the cheating is correct. That's the problem. There is a mismatch between our communication of stimulus and goal and her understanding of why your hands are even on in the first place. So I would say if you can take that from her before she has an option, which is essentially what I try to do at all times. Like, when I walk up and give people heavier weights, it's an option. Sure. Not really. Like, you can eventually say no to me. But with a lot of that stuff is like, I'm not asking you to do this. I'm very kindly telling you to do this. So with Nancy or with anyone I've done Hatfields with who are like exactly the same argument, I need to be able to do this on my own. I'm like, oh, actually, no, you don't. Not right now, you don't. Well, isn't it cheating? No, it's not cheating. This is the intended thing I want you to do. So if you think doing the thing I ask you, how I ask you to do it, is cheating, I'm not really sure what the game is here then. And then they're like, oh, it's not cheating? Because you're right, they think it's cheating. And then I'll say something like to Nancy or Jeannie, I need to be able to do this without these stupid handles. Not right now, you don't, because you can't. You can't. You literally can't do it. So we're going to do this, and this goes back to the skill acquisition thing. If you think of complexity as skill, I add stability to teach a skill, right? If Day came in and did that Olympic training thing with us and just had us all hit full snatches, how pretty would those look? They won't. Yeah, whatever. And Aubrey, stupid people.
It took a year.
Whatever.
Like an
But
hour
that's
the
skill
other day
acquisition.
working on that.
I know.
Year.
Yeah.
She literally just said.
Yeah. And I mean, how long you guys all been deadlifting and squatting and lunge? Like, how many reps do you have?
2 months.
Yeah, about 6 years. 6 days. No, but,
24 hours.
I think sometimes it may be a miscommunication of what stimulus you're trying to get for them. Whether it be skill at first, communicate that. Hey, Nancy, I hear you, and I agree with you. That's just not where we're at right now. I need you to learn this skill so well that you could take those handles off and walk back and forth lunges through here for an hour. That's where I need you to be so that we can get you to the next step. And right now, we're just not there without them because they look like this. I need to do this. It's like, well, no, you don't. We need to pull this back. But obviously don't say like, hey, you suck at those. But you need to communicate the thing you want to change. And if that is saying, hey, this is what we're trying to do, and this is why I need you to do this, not want you. This is why I need you doing it this way, for these reasons. They can still, it's their body, be like, nope, great, cool, dude. I've never had that happen, unless it's like really big fear things.
Like they don't, even if we're explaining it, they don't really comprehend.
Correct.
Still, or they're not gauging the right aspect of what we're trying to explain.
Yeah, talk dumber.
In their head, they still think it's right.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
yeah, talk.
Give you that look, they're like,
Yeah. Yeah, and there's been times, I'm not going to lie, where I have the relationship with someone and they've been fighting me on it, and I will get a little sassy and be like, hey, you're not doing this right anyway, with or without this thing you think. This isn't, like Caitlin Kaufman got on me about, why am I doing split squat, like just came after me, and I was like, listen to me very carefully. And I gave her the reason. She was like, you're right, I'm sorry. I was like, okay, shush, please, enough, dear Lord. So you have to have the relationship, but they need to know why the hell you're making them do the thing they're doing. And if they don't, then their reason is going to supersede yours because it's their body. And then there's no trust in the thing you're saying. Not that you're doing anything wrong, just explain. Like, hey, this is what we're doing, dumb.
You also trick them. Like,
I do like a good trick.
by asking questions. What do you think actually makes you like more stable?
I do like this one.
Right?
Doing it bad? No? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like, and then usually they'll be like, well, I need to get stronger. Cool.
Oh.
How do you get stronger? Like, and they'll literally answer their own question.
Yeah.
I did this with my dad on Halloween night. Like, we were sitting there talking because he done philanthropy. He was trying to do the lunges. I was trying to have him just do an anterior lunge because he doesn't have the balance. And so I was trying to like walk him through that. And so then he comes like on fire, for Halloween. He's like, I need to work on my balance and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, well, how do I improve that? He's just like, well, I think I need to just like get stronger in these positions. Okay, well, what do we do to get stronger in those positions? Like, what do you think? He's like, well, I need to be like maybe doing some of these balance drills. No. How do we get strong first in those positions? Well, I'm doing the trap bar. Yeah. Didn't you hit 185? Yeah. Cool. What's the next thing? Now we probably need to go from here to maybe like a split stance or even eventually 1 foot, but probably here first, right? I was like, yeah, absolutely. He's like, so what drills can I do for that? And I was like, probably some split squats, maybe hang on to something, we'll build some strength. So I just kept asking him questions,
Mhm.
and then it shifted to like, how do I fix my back? And then it was just like, well, how do you think?
The
What do
same
you
thing,
think?
putting the ball in their
Yes.
court.
Because if they come up with their own answer, even if then I take it and I spin it, it's not any different than I'm like, Miles, do you want to leave in 5 minutes or do you want to leave in 10 minutes? Your
Yeah.
choice, buddy.
Yeah. That was such a good one.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
did that with my niece now.
Yep. Yeah.
I mean, Ethan touched on that though, because his whole point is like Nancy's why she wants to learn to do it without holding on
Great.
is stronger than your mental reason that you haven't
Even though it's
quite
the
made
same.
clear.
Yeah.
It is
Correct.
literally
It's
you
identical.
have the same
Yeah.
goal in mind, but Nancy's priority is Nancy.
And Nancy's wrong. She just doesn't know it. You've never told her.
She's a-
Like, hey, Nance, you're wrong as hell, dude.
That's not understanding.
Yeah, you gotta be. Is Nancy the one with the fused back? Yeah. I loved her. I felt we should get married. I love that woman. I'm not joking.
You had 1 hour.
I loved her.
It took us a long time to get
I was
to
gonna-
that.
I was so sassy with her as soon as she walked in, and I was like, "Oh, you're the one with the back thing." She was like,
She yelled at me on last week, whenever that was.
Was
What
it
was I
on-
pushing with?
I think it was Monday, right?
Yeah, and she was like, you're telling everyone about me.
"Yep." Well,
You're kind of the talk of the town.
it's also not hard to see,
Yeah.
you know.
No, I was like, yeah, you're right. You're kind of the talk of the town.
Not hard to see.
Yeah.
She's like looking at everything
Yeah, but
this
she's
way.
a good sport. She's a good sport.
But it's
It,
got,
it did take us
Oh,
a year.
fine.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Really a year to get
But
her
that's the
to-
thing. I think I've said this before. My puppy dog approach works every time, where I can like bark, but my tail's always wagging, so you never know that I'm kind of being a dickhead. You know, I'm like, ha, 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 ha. Too bad you're being lazy. Goodbye. Okay, moving on. Oh, complexity. We're going from complexity is a little bit odd, and normally is like the high complexity, high skill movements, cleans, split squats with load on the back.
Kettlebell swings.
Kettlebell swings. So changing complexity in something is like a kettlebell swing can't be done, so we do a pull through, is a regression of complexity, so we can teach hip extension, hip flexion. But then with Olympic lifts, if you've ever tried to learn Olympic lifts, you don't learn the Olympic lift. You learn the first pull off the floor. You learn second position. You learn first pull, second pull, high pull. You learn hang clean, you know, whatever. So you learn in increments. So if you tried to teach a clean to someone, you're not teaching the clean, you're reducing complexity or breaking it into the sum of its parts, teaching those things so they smooth out, and then doing the movement. Okay? So, next. Thank you. Please notice the picture. Thank you, Joseph. Yeah, you can sit down. When the hell do I swap or modify exercises? This one's easy. When we have answered all the previous questions and understand our client's current state, maintain the course if possible, which is, I think, the biggest piece of understanding progressions and regressions and lateral changes, is knowing what you're doing. And the what you're doing is maintaining a stimulus as long as possible for the given movement. For the muscle group, for the pattern, for whatever it is, if I take a stimulus that's a 9 out of 10, I have to reduce it. I'm going to do an 8 out of 10, and then a 7 out of 10, and then a 6 out of 10, and then a... Bye, James! I'm going to regress this exercise from its given adaptation, which is strength, stability, mobility, strength, and or skill, okay? I'm going to regress it slowly, not put the pedal down and be like back squats to goblet squats or body weight squats, okay? Because we are losing the intended stimulus at that point. If I can squat 400 and you guys are my coach and I'm on the floor and I'm like, hey, my knee's bugging me, are you regressing me to, what are you regressing me to? If I'm trying to do like a 90%, I'm at like 350. What's my regression?
You're doing 90% and you're still in pain. Is that what you're
Yeah, it's like a 4 out of 10 in my knee.
Just bring the weight down a little.
A little. Before we get rid of the, well, maybe we shouldn't back squat today. So then you're teaching that person, when you're in pain, don't do this movement. Not true. We can't do that. Because now that's just fear language hidden as incorrect regressions. Okay? It hurts. Okay. Well, yeah, you got 350 on your back, your knee's bugging you. Did you think it was going to feel any different? No? Hey, how was it feeling when you warmed up? Oh, I did my 4 warm-up sets. It hurt the same each time. Okay. Why are you here then? Why are you at 350? Well, I don't know. I thought I had to be here. Okay, well, so then you can just ask that question. It hurt during the warm-up. It never felt better. It's almost not tolerable. If you trust them and you say, hey, do you feel like you can finish this workout and be okay? It's a fine question to ask. Like, I've done plenty of my high-end squat days with knee pain at like a 3 to a 5 out of 10. I'm used to it. So don't jump to, let's get rid of it. Ask them, how uncomfortable is it? Is it tolerable? Yeah. Okay. You're just being whiny? Yeah. Okay, that's fine. We'll stay the course, knock it down a little bit, but let's just, maybe add some tempo. Good question. Like, hey, does it hurt as soon as you break? Like, as soon as you go here, knee hurts? Or is it like when you sit ass to grass? Oh, it's just at the very bottom. Cool. What if you came up like 2 inches? No pain. Great. Cool. Keep the exact same exercise. You've just asked them to modify their own range of motion to a point where it feels totally fine. Okay? So it's small changes to get to the place we need to go. How do we modify? Minimum effective dosing. This is just what I'm saying. We want to change as little as possible to maintain the stimulus. So minimum effective dose, not maximum. Don't go to the other end. We don't go from 1 Tylenol or Advil tablet to 7 Tylenol or Advil tablets. Okay? Maybe we try 2. Oh, is someone here guilty of that? If you have to take 1,000 milligrams of ibuprofen, you're doing it wrong. You're doing things wrong.
How frequent?
Daily. That's wrong. I think you can handle that for like a week or 2.
You can handle
That's
it
when the shadow man comes.
every 4 hours for 36 straight hours.
The shadow man, that's the truth, dude. Okay, so again, modifiable variables first. Limb alignment, tempo, load, range of motion, assistance. I think I did this right, so as we work down, so these 3 maintain the exact same lift. Limb alignment, tempo, load. Limb alignment's arguable, if I went from a Swiss bar on a bench press or from a flat bar to a Swiss bar, I am swapping the exercise. But if I have a dumbbell press where they're out here and it hurts, and I go in here and do a little bit better slot, feels better, I'm just maintaining the movement. Maintain as much as you can, change their hands a little bit. So then we start to change the motion to the exercise. Range of motion, assistance, range of motion again. For a bench press, don't go down so low. For a barbell, if it hurts down here on your shoulder, does it feel better here? This could be a skill thing too. So this is why the first part, do they understand it? Do they know the form? Are they executing? If you can fix those, you can just smooth out the whole exercise. If you guys have ever worked with someone bench pressing that complains about anterior shoulder pain, are you looking at how much they're arching their back and their shoulder blades? Is their chest exposed to the exercise? Or are they doing this and they've been pressing like this for 3 years and they're like, yeah, my shoulder hurts every time I do this and I don't feel it in my pecs. It's like, well, yeah, you don't feel it in your pecs. Who? Oh, yeah. Well, his is... I can't fix him.
Yeah.
Can't fix broken. Anywho. Can't fix broke. So, my point is, I think the reason I'm so big on I want you guys to live in the gym for a while is you have to know how to make these changes. You have to know what it feels like to use your pecs in a bench press so that when you watch someone essentially do front delt raises in a bench press and they're like, I've bench pressed for years, I don't know why my shoulders hurt. It's like, well, I do. You don't use your pecs. You go like this on the way down, head comes up, and you're doing front delt raises. Even out here, it's the same thing. You're not exposing the position. So you have to know the form, ask, correct. You can correct, and then they're still like, this hurts. Now we make some changes. We change range of motion, we change hand alignment, we change all the stuff up here, tempo, etc. Any questions? Wonderful. Ask yourself what adaptation we are changing, okay? Stability, mobility, strength, or skill. That's when I'm gonna make the change, this is the first thing I'm asking myself. Jeannie Shedlock, what adaptation am I chasing? What thing is she lacking that I'm trying to change? Okay? Skill and stability, right? This is a little bit of a complicated one because we'll go over this in a second. Okay. Every change we make on the floor changes the adaptation and experience of the client. What can we do? When do we make that call? We have talked about that. We change these things. We make that call when we have answered those questions that we started in the beginning. Do they know what they're doing? Do they know how to do it? Can they not just complete it? Are they scared? Are they confused? Are they in pain? I mean, look for the face. You're looking at body language when someone's doing an exercise. When she was doing that, she was like, that's the face you made. So, okay, it's a pain response. Don't come in hot. Don't scare them further. Calm it down. See if you can change some things, okay? What was I talking about? Oh, okay. I think it's in the next slide. Something that bugs me sometimes is progressive overload with certain movements. I think it's the biggest complaint I have heard about physical therapists and from physical therapists about physical therapy is that there is almost no progressive overload when coming out of PT and or doing like corrective exercises. So the reason I think we all love Abby and Emma so much is because they're lifters. So when they're never telling us to not lift, they're just trying to help us move back into lifting and give us smart ways to progress back into the thing we want to be doing. Okay, so hip lift clamshells. Great for a level 0, level 1 client who's got really poor hip stability. We need to isolate glute med and glute max and whatever, get those things moving a little bit better. How do you progress them? Anyone? What's the progressive overstimulus? Tempo? Sure. Can we progress load? Great. Can we really progress load? No. I mean, isometrics, even overcoming or yielding at a certain, yielding's a little bit different because you can just keep adding weight and it gets, yielding is I'm resisting the pressure?
Yeah.
Okay. But overcoming, you're producing a lot of force. It can be very helpful. But there's a certain point at which we just cannot really continue to overstimulate that position. So when you are giving someone clamshells in the main exercise bunching, in their level 0, level 1, great. I just need you to be thinking about how do I progress this exercise? How do I overload glute med, glute min, glute, past this position? Because the one thing that bothers me when I'm writing plans is feeling like, do I just give them hip lift clamshells and watch them not do anything productive while they do this? You know what I mean? Like at a certain point, are they really that stimulating? You could add them to something, like let's say you do deficit curtsy lunges with 50-pound dumbbells, and then at the end of that, I have you do like a hip lift glute bridge clamshell for 45 seconds and just absolutely fry your glute med after it's already been torched. Sure, it can be a finisher. Just the same way for a lot of people, for advanced lifters, push-ups can be finishers. You do a hard chest day, you finish with like a deficit set of AMRAP push-ups or a loaded set of AMRAP push-ups. You can do that. Is it the most stimulating exercise? No. So just think about, how do I take this exercise and progressively stimulate, especially if you regress them to it, from like a wall sit to a terminal knee extension. Where do we go from TKEs? TKEs are a little different because you can load the shit out of those, but does that make sense? Please don't forget progressive overload or overstimulus. We need to make sure that these exercises can be progressed to the north end of death. Okay, not like stop at the gray miniband, like seated leg abductions. Anywho, okay, yeah, think about stability, mobility, and strength. This is what I was talking about. We'll get into this a little bit. And kind of the question I asked was, with Jeannie, what is she deficient in if she can't complete the lunge? If she can't complete the range of motion, what is she deficient in immediately? Stability, mobility, strength. What would be your best guess?
No, sorry. Mobility. Wait, what did you?
Yeah.
Mobility.
Okay. It's a mobility error. Okay. Just watching. Like, let's say I watch her do it, and she's doing a lunge, and it kind of looks like this. Okay. And you try everything you can without adding anything to get her knee to the ground, and she can't do it. It's a mobility issue, strength issue, somewhere probably around those two. She's not strong enough, she's not skilled enough, she doesn't have the mobility to do so. Without, well, that's where this gets weird. So, if I put her hands on something, similar, I think, to the example I have up here, if I put her hands on the pins or whatever, and she can get her knee all the way to the floor, does she have a mobility issue? Okay. So if I add external stimulus in the form of stability, and her mobility increases, what is the culprit? Probably a strength deficit. Yes. So it's either a skill deficit, which a lot of times it is, with lunges specifically, or it's a strength deficit. So if I, just can you lay on the floor real quick right here? This is an yeah, on your back. This is an easy example. Imagine I'm Joseph, okay? Imagine I'm Joseph real quick. And I say, Joseph, let's go into some shoulder flexion, don't move. And I go like this, okay? Am I missing shoulder flexion? Great. Now I'm Joseph, but now he's Joseph. Joseph, do some shoulder flexion all the way. And the range of motion opens up. What did we add by putting him on the ground? Stability. And then what increased? Yes. So it's not like this one's gone, that one's gone, it's strength, but we added stability to his rib cage, to the shoulder girdle, to his whole body, and then just we took gravity away from it. So now here I'm fighting gravity the whole time, right? But when he gets up into shoulder flexion, relax, the gravity is just now assisting him into this position. So he just may not be strong enough in the shoulder girdle to get up here and mobilize. It could be his traps, everything on the backside that's pulling down on the shoulder blades just may not be strong enough against gravity to pull back all the way. So we add stability to the system, mobility increases. We may have shoulder instability in the form of a strength deficit in the stabilizing muscles, but just like the whole shoulder girdle in general. So with Jeannie, can you get up and be Jeannie real quick? Thank you, Jeannie. Thanks, Jeannie. There we go. Yep. Thank you. Thank you. Do it correctly. So if Jeannie here does a reverse lunge, puts her hip in her pocket, and gets her knee, he knows what I'm talking about, great, and then comes back up. And then we go through, imagine we did some skill building stuff, and it gets a little bit better, but doesn't go all the way down. So she's getting there. It's getting closer, but she's still, we cannot get her to the floor. Now, imagine you're holding Hatfield handles, and then fix it. All the way down. Great. Knees touch the ground, and she can stand back up. Get your ass up. Thank you. Wonderful. So, range of motion was a deficit. We did some skill learning. It made it better, but she still does not feel confident or comfortable getting all the way down, probably because she can't get back up. We add stability. She gets to the floor. We know her knees have the what to get to the ground? Mobility. Okay, she's got the mobility to get there. We add stability, so she feels stable enough to get there. And if she doesn't have the strength to get back up, what can she rely on now? A different stimulus for assistance on the way back up. Now, that's the thing I'm trying to get at. When you're looking at what stimulus do I need to give her, let's say, you can stay there, Jeannie. Let's say Jeannie did the handles and still could not get down. Like she goes to get back up, and hip goes in the pocket, knee straightens out, and she brings that hip around, and she's like, I cannot. It's like shaking. We still have a strength issue, okay, but we could also have a mobility issue. If I add external stimulus, so for example, if Jeannie had been laying down, she's here, Jeannie lays down, and is here again with extra stability, now we could have a mobility issue at the shoulder capsule. Then that's something that we need to deal with. We don't have enough shoulder mobility here, shoulder blade mobility to get up overhead. We may not have enough thoracic extension to get up overhead. We may be really tight on the front side, so we can't roll the shoulders back, which just kind of like goes hand in hand. If my back's not strong and my chest is tight, I can't pull things back to get up overhead. So it kind of goes that way with all joints. So when I'm looking at someone and going to make a change or regression or progression, I'm asking myself, what is the stimulus I need to chase, and how do I locate that by watching them. If I add stability to this squat and then go ass to grass and stand up and down, it might be a skill and strength issue. I added stability. They felt more comfortable getting into the pattern. Could just be a skill issue. It could just be that they just don't know how to squat correctly. You put their hands on something and they can squat really nice. And then you start to work that in. Next week, you say, hey, do a couple with your hands on it, then a couple with your hands off it, and see if you can't replicate it. Problem solved. Now I don't even have to regress it for very long. I identify it's a skill issue, solve the skill, move on. So regress it, teach the skill, move on, keep progressing. Or I regress it and realize they have a very serious strength deficit here. Keep the stability, slowly get rid of it. So for your guys' example for Nancy, if she doesn't like both hands on, okay, cheat, lie to her. One hand on, load the other hand. You still have the stability you want. And now, on the back end, you're kind of cheating and being like, oh, look, I totally hear you, Nancy. You want to be able to do this by yourself. So we'll just do one hand on. It's a little less stable, and we'll load your other hand. A 2.5 pound weight, a 5 pound weight, whatever. It's probably not going to make that big of a difference, but in her head, you've gotten her to that position. So she's got a strength deficit, add stability, it works, great, then run it that way. Does that make sense? Yeah.
You guys remember what the definition for strength is?
Ability to produce force.
And resistance.
Yes. So strength versus like stability, mobility, and strength. Do you remember our definition for strength? So the neurological adaptation predicated on skill. Because that's why usually strength and skill go hand in hand. So a neurological adaptation meaning like to get stronger, you're going to be having that neuromuscular system connect. So you need more neural recruitment to happen, but it's predicated on skill. So it means skill comes first, and skill is the acquisition to develop what you're doing. So you can actually just get better at deadlifting, and therefore your body knows you are deadlifting, so therefore you have quote unquote got stronger. So that's why like when you're talking a lot of times about skill, do they have the coordination, do they have the proprioception, do they have the awareness overall? So that's why I like that definition so clearly and cleanly, because it shows us exactly what he was talking about. We talk about stability, mobility, and strength, but when we actually define strength, skill is within the definition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just, I think we've gone over lunges so many times about like, knee and torso angle needs to match. We're moving forward, we're pushing down through the leg. If they don't know how to do that and they don't know where to drive force through their leg, it's a skill issue. You may look at a lunge and be like, wow, they can't lunge, it's a skill issue. Or it's a strength problem or a mobility problem. But what if you just taught them how to lunge better, Because if you walked up to Nancy or whoever and were like, hey, do you know that I want you to push your shin forward and your chest forward and push off that front leg? It's like step-ups. Everyone kicks off the back leg, and the moment I teach them how to do a step-up where it's front leg loaded like a pistol squat, they're like, oh my God, these are awful. It's like, oh, you just didn't know how to do a step-up. You just kick off the back foot and basically jump every single rep. But the moment you treat it like a single leg squat or a pistol squat, you're like, these are terrible. And then they stimulate the thing we want to. They've acquired a skill. They can put pressure somewhere so you can produce more force through the foot. And then the skill gets better and they get stronger at it. But if you never take the moment to be like, maybe they just suck at lunging and I need to teach them how to lunge real quick, then you're now patterning a bad pattern and then loading it. So they're only going to get better at the bad pattern. Bad's a weird word there, but at a non-optimal pattern. You want them to do something that looks like it's supposed to look and then load them up and go. So next time lunges are the ones that are always a pain in the ass. So when you get to a lunge next time and you're like, I don't know what to do, just stop and regress and be like, hey, let's just make sure they know how to do the lunge pattern correctly. And then a lot of times you're like, where's the weight in your foot? And they're like, it's directly in the back of my heel. And you're like, oh, oops. That's not where it's supposed to be. Let's fix that real quick. Then you just put the weight forward and like, oh, wow. I feel like I have a whole leg to use now. Okay. So this was the test. Shoulder flexion mobility limit is 70 degrees. Place client supine. Retest shoulder flexion. If it increases, deficit's probably strength. Somewhere in the rotator cuff, shoulder, wherever. Okay. If it doesn't, it could just be a mobility issue, which is then a little bit bigger of a pain. This is, again, just what we were going over. When we add stability to the system, we notice that either mobility increases, which is a potential strength deficit. We added stability, we took away some gravity or made gravity assist the movement, and it goes right into place, active and or passive. Mobility is not affected. It is a potential mobility deficit. So we are looking at, is there an eye? So when this happens, then I am looking for which, especially at the shoulder and the hip, if they fail this test, like I put them down, they go overhead and they still, they're just stuck. Are they lacking? Now I'm looking at very small details. Is their thoracic spine able to move? Are their shoulder blades able to move? Do they have ER and IR? Do they have abduction, adduction, extension, flexion? I'm going to find which one of those is jamming me up. Overhead, we're probably in the shoulder blades, thoracic spine, and rotator cuff-ish area. That's probably going to cause us the most problems there. So just know that there are some dead giveaways for these things that you can look for. This is the example. You add stability, no changes, mobility still stripped. Sometimes with the knees and the hips, you're looking at arthritis. It's just like, it's gone, There's just some people who have arthritis in their hip and or knee that's just what you got. Much higher pressures, painful. Not a one-to-one cause and effect though. It gives you a starting point to test from. So it still could be a mobility issue, still could be a strength issue given the other two, but it's probably not as common. There we go. Okay, Joseph, how long is yours going to take? Do you know? We have until 5? Okay. Okay. So we're going to go through these relatively quickly. Can everyone see this? The text up here? Okay. We've got a 54-year-old female client, currently has safety bar squat programmed. She has limited internal rotation of the left leg. Okay. She has limited ankle dorsiflexion of the left ankle. So this one doesn't go in and this ankle doesn't bend. Limited range of motion, less than 90 degrees, over 90 degrees when squatting. And right shift at the bottom of the squat. Okay? Do you want to see it?
No.
Okay, you got it?
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions? I made this up, so I can make up whatever I want if you ask a question. Any ideas? What's the first question you'd ask them? Talk over each other, I don't care, just gotta say something.
Ask them how the squats feel.
Okay. What do you think an answer to that would be?
Fine.
Fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, let's say they say fine. Where are you gonna, you see this, they're shifting off to their right side, they're not getting below 90 degrees. What would you ask? Yeah. Where does it feel hard? Where are you feeling it? Okay. Imagine you're watching this in your head. What would you say to this person? Yeah. How does it feel in your hip? Does something hurt? And they say, oh, I'm just feeling real tight. And you notice it. If there's a right shift, they're not sitting deep enough. What is the first thing I said? Could be a skill issue. Okay. We can have limited ankle mobility, limited internal rotation of one leg, and still squat ass to grass. Okay? Those things don't necessarily dictate the problem. So we can add a skill issue question. Okay? We can ask them a question about, do they know how to do it? We can mop it up that way. You can also put what in their hands? Pins. Okay? How would you go about this?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
I asked them what's the goal for the day.
Okay. What's the goal for the day for this person? Steph? Okay. What are their goals in general? Okay, strength. Next question. Someone?
Sweet. So we're trying to get just heavier in the squat. Is that our strength goal, or is it something specific outside here?
Trying to get up and down from
Trying to get up and down from the dang table?
From the dining room table?
From the dining room table.
Okay.
Feel
I
you.
like dang table then.
Okay. How about, is there any pain when you're doing this? What if the answer is no? Do you want to try to clean this movement up? How would you guys handle this? Let's say,
Based on history.
sure.
Is this the first time she's ever done that?
Nope, not the first time she's ever squatted.
Okay.
No, but this variation?
Of a Hatfield squat?
She doesn't have Hatfield, she just has safety bar.
Oh, yeah, not the first time she safety bar squatted.
What week in her cycle is she?
Third week.
I mean, I would first say, how does it feel?
Okay.
Are we having any pain?
Okay.
If that's the case, no, then I'll try to modify that position. Maybe we need to rotate the toes a little bit. Maybe we need to stabilize it. But if she's done it for 3 weeks and hasn't been able to do that, is there a case or another stress-induced situation that's causing it to flare up? Or is it just that we need to modify the angle?
Okay.
The angle doesn't work, position doesn't work, then it's like, okay, is it too heavy today? Or that's kind of what I would know. But ask her, right? Get
Yeah.
the feedback of like, okay, how does it feel? What about it that feels different from week 1 or week 2 or week 3? If
Yeah.
you remember, 'cause most of the time they do not remember anything.
That's what I asked her.
Yeah. Yeah.
If she's telling me no pain,
Mm-hmm.
and her only goal is to be strong enough to get up and down from the dining room table,
Uh-huh.
I'm not going to change anything. Because I'm like, that's fine. I will put in some other exercise
Yep.
that is going to help with some deep range of motion and work on that. But I'm like, if this is where she's strong. She's pain-free. She doesn't have any goals that we're not meeting. I'm just going to keep sending it and then maybe sprinkle in some other things because I don't want to take away from what she's already doing well at executing, even if it doesn't look pretty. But
Yeah.
But if she's
You could
not
argue
even
that's
at
wrong, I
90
don't know.
degrees and she needs to be able to sit in a chair, then that's where I would argue that point. Only because, like, if her whole goal is to sit down, but at 90 degrees, you are not, my chair is not in my hand. So I still need to get her down to a
I
lower range.
would assume he means a 90-degree angle, so he means here.
Yeah. Hip to knee, top of hip to knee crest.
But then she's still, if she.
She would be at like 110 degrees of knee flexion at that point. 120.
Limited range.
That's in a chair, but
Go.
that's what I'm saying, she can't, so you're still lower than she.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's not a wrong answer, you know? And his answer was, maybe I don't fuck with this one, and maybe on Wednesday when she comes her second day, I'll do something that forces her into deeper ranges of motion. And we could, you know, there's no wrong answers. There could be times, so sometimes I will just knock out the lowest hanging fruit. To me, a lot of times that's skill, especially if you know the person, you know? Maybe it's their third week doing safety bars, but it's their third week doing safety bars, you know? And I could say like, hey, you know,
Oh, my Christmas tree's here.
what's the reason you squat that low? Like, is there a reason you go to that height on the squat? I mean, that's it. Oh, no, I just kind of stop here. Oh, cool. Next time you squat, just try to go like 2 inches lower. See how that feels. Oh, it feels great. Okay, cool. Bye. You know? So just like attack the lowest hanging fruit. If it's skill or they don't know the content or context. Maybe in their head, they're like, well, I can't push my knees over my toes and I can't squat that low because my hips and knees will spontaneously explode. And it just takes someone being like, hey, next time, just go a little bit lower. That's all. You know, so it doesn't always have to be the biggest one to tackle. It doesn't always have to be the smallest one to tackle. But think about someone. This is a lot. This one I think is Pam Fick specifically because she was.
She's not 54, she's gonna be really mad. Sorry, Pam.
I couldn't remember. It started at 54, and then I was thinking about what problems to have with someone safety bar squatting. And she's 49, I think. Yeah.
Because that's true. Sometimes you have them, they're not doing, they have no pain, they're able to get it done, but it doesn't look 100%.
Yeah.
You're not just gonna change.
Yeah, and this one's a little backwards because, you know, if you see someone squatting, you're not going to look at them and be like, they have limited internal rotation at the hip and limited dorsiflexion. You'd have to test those things to see if that's actually true. Look at it and be like, limited internal rotation, 8 degrees. Okay, so yeah, from there, so we go safety bar, and we could do, there's some lateral movements here. So like, or some that are not on here. So you could just do safety bar with a Hatfield, a hand support. That's it. Okay, you could do Zercher squats. It kind of forces people to squat lower just in general. So you could take this anywhere. You could just leave it again and just ask her to go lower and then make an adjustment after that. And that is an adjustment to me. Like, hey, you're doing this thing. I don't like it. I'm not going to say that. Just go a little bit lower. That's all. See how it goes. Okay, hinge. This is based on Joseph. 63-year-old male. History of non-specific lower back pain. He came in and was like, back hurts. And you go, why is back hurt? And he goes, doc said, don't know. He said, this is what it's called. Don't know low back pain, which is essentially what it is. There's no disc out of place. There's no tear in the muscles. There's nothing. It's just his back hurts, okay? For the last 10 years, wants to get stronger and move better. Just started pickleball. He did fail a single leg balance test. He has a clear lack of pelvic control. When you're watching him do kettlebell RDLs, he's doing the thing everyone we love to watch them do, which is ass tight, round back forward. You know what I'm talking about? Everyone has seen this fault. Okay, it looks like this. Okay, that's his RDL. Not feeling the hamstrings or glutes. What I should put here is he is feeling it a little bit too much in his lower to mid back. What do we do? What's the fix, people? He's doing kettlebell RDLs. He feels it in his lower back. He's got a history of lower back pain. What are your questions?
I would probably first try to see, okay, if he's rounding his back too much, can we keep our chest a little bit higher and straighten the knees a little bit more to see if we can feel the hamstrings at all, right? If they're overly bending the knee, if they're pulling straight from the back. But since he can't, well, visually it's not looking like he's
Yeah.
I'll probably explain how to a little bit better.
Okay.
I'd put him in front of the wall.
Okay, put him in front of the wall.
And I'd probably remove the weight just to see if it was a range of motion, teach him the skill.
Okay. So constrain the range of motion is what she did. She just puts his ass next to a wall and says, touch it, come back forward. Touch it, come back forward. Okay? Yeah, and that's a skill acquisition thing. So we reduce the range of motion, we take the weight away, and we just work on a pattern. We just need this, just this pattern. Yep. Okay. What else can we do?
I'd change the basis of support if I'd already done other stuff. Because he's got a failed single leg balance test and his legs are close in an RDL, I want to increase base of support. So I want to give him more pelvic control, so I externally rotate, so I put him in a sumo stance, his pelvis is locked in, he's got a bigger base of support. It may clear up some of that stuff and I can keep his torso in a better position.
Absolutely.
Same thing with positioning, like going to dumbbells and doing more of like a suitcase position, because this kettlebell
Rounds him forward.
Yeah.
Okay.
May lead to more temptation.
Okay.
To round it back.
Okay. What is this? What is the intended stimulus? When I'm riding the Royal Eye, a kettlebell RDL for 3 sets of 8 reps. What is my intended stimulus? What is your guess? What's the stimulus? Strength, stability, mobility. Great. So what are we trying to preserve as much as possible? Strength. So if we don't have the skill to get into the movement, and that's clearly the problem here. It's the nondescript lower back pain is a red herring. Throw that out. It's what, like 80% of the population has nondescript lower back pain? Congratulations, welcome to the group. So that, honestly, to me, unless there's he comes in, he's like, hey, I have severe neuropathy. I can't feel my legs. I've got a disc herniating, and my PT and or doc and neurosurgeon said no axially loading because I'm having surgery in 3 months. They just want me to get stronger. Probably not a kettlebell RDL, right? We need to keep the load to this direction like a pull-through cable band. So for this, he's got nondescript low back pain. And the reason I just started playing pickleball is because if he has lower back pain, and that's his chief complaint, but he's also playing pickleball, is it that big of a problem? It's probably annoying, but is it really going to limit what we're doing? So it's probably a skill acquisition issue. So doing stuff like the sumo position, locking the pelvis in place, makes it a little bit easier to go like this and a little bit harder to go like this. That's a great one. Drop the weight, throw his butt against the wall, and try to get him into a hinge pattern. I think what you said, the way I really like to do this, everyone stand up real quick. Imagine you're just finishing Joseph's test and you have to catch your breath. Put your hands on your knees and catch your breath. Okay, what position are you in? How quickly did you get into that hinge position? Now relax your hands and put them by your shins. Keep your back straight. Great. Now what position are you in? Okay. So if you want to quickly get someone into that position and they do RDLs like this, you have two options. You instead of saying, okay, start back up at the top and let's try to smoothly get you down there. Just let them get to here and then say, pull your chest up, slam your knees back. Now do you feel your hamstrings? And we're all going to test this because it's really fun. So now round over and bend your knees a little bit like you're doing a bad one. Now pull your chest up and push your knees back. Do you feel your hamstrings? Yes. Great. Now all you do is you look at them and say, that's the position you have to be in every time. I want you to come up by squeezing your butt and then get back to that position. So you have to constrain them a little bit, put them in the position you want them to feel so they know what it feels like, instead of like, no, don't do this, do that. Just get them there. They can go like this. Lift your chest, push your knees back. I feel my hamstrings. Great. That's what it needs to feel like. So put them in that position. I like this one too. Put your hands on your knees like you're catching your breath. Put your hands down. Your ass is back, your knees are bent a little bit. That's an RDL. I'm catching my breath. I'm in an RDL. I'm catching my breath. I'm in an RDL. It's the same thing. So you're just here to here, squeeze your butt, okay? So teach the skill as fast as possible and then get them to load the skill as fast as possible. But you have to find shortcuts to get them into the movement so that we can progress them. Because the nondescript low back pain, they're going to hit you with it. They're going to say it. No, I talked to Ethan. My low back hurts. And then what are you going to do? Be like, oh, let's not do kettlebell RDLs then. Let's do pull-throughs. My fucking lower back hurts all the time. What are we talking about? I've blown it out twice. I've been a lot better. But it happens. Some people never have nondescript lower back pain. 20% of the population. That means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's a phantom 1 or 2 of us in here that has never had. Oh, have you? I know you have. Lower back pain? Never?
No, yes.
Great. Yes, you have?
Yep.
No or yes? Don't need to ask you?
Like after working out.
No, just lower back pain. Like you go to lay in bed. See, asking the question, you've never had to pull your feet up while laying flat in bed because it feels like your lower back's going to disconnect from your pelvis.
You didn't ever.
Great. Yep, thought so.
You never worried like you can't get up off the toilet.
You've never had to.
Oh.
Yeah, I know.
You have to have someone lower you down on the.
Yeah. You're in the military. You're fine. Yeah, you're fucked up, dude. We know. So he's had lower back pain so bad that he's, taking half bottles of Tylenol at one time. I've done the same thing. She's done the same thing. We're confused about you. Yeah. So a lot of us had lower back pain. You guys just are not there yet. You'll get there. It'll be fun. But it's 80% of the population. It's not even an age thing. It's just like gravity sucks. The body sometimes falls apart. We don't take care of ourselves for a long time. Or genetics just play a huge role. And that's it. Sucks. Sorry. So when someone has nondescript lower back pain, the question I would have when they say it to me is like, okay, I totally hear you. Our goal is maybe we resolve some of that back pain, but don't you think it would be better to be really strong with some discomfort rather than really weak with discomfort? I'd rather you be really strong. We do this safely. We do this like not too soon, not too fast. We load it correctly. And then all of a sudden you're like, hey, my back, bugs every once in a while, like I'm sure the 4 of ours does. Every once in a while it gets a little buggy, or all the time. And we just work through it. We get stronger. But I mean, he's had back pain so bad he can't get out of bed. I've watched him come in here and hang upside down for weeks on end. But he's strong enough that it does not cripple the rest of his life. You can be not strong enough where it puts you down, or bad enough where it puts you down. Anyway, but does that make sense? So with the RDL and the nondescript lower back pain, whatever, great, acknowledge it. I'm not saying don't acknowledge the pain they're having, but we need to be smart about how we subvert that and be like, okay, great, we need to do this hinge for these reasons, makes your lower back stronger, okay? We're not doing RDLs to protect the lower back. We're doing it to make your back stronger than it already is, which is already a robust, giant skeleton covered in muscles, okay? It's not fragile. We're going to do this to make your lower back stronger so that when these moments of pain happen, they're not as cumbersome to you. We want you to be super strong and super resilient, not the other way around, okay? So yeah, we just regress, teach the skill, and then move on. Last one, I think. We already did lunge. We talked about that with Jeannie. So again, a big skill issue here. RDLs, lunges, skill issue, typically. This one, I think sometimes gets me. This, can anyone guess who this is? The age is wrong. Doctor recommended she strength train to get more muscle mass, combat osteopenia, doesn't enjoy exercising, but wants to feel better when playing pickleball. Yep, you're right. Doing traditional planks, hips sagging through, doesn't feel it in the core, can't keep the position, bothers her wrist to be on hands, frustrated. What do you do? Now that's the right choice right there. How'd you know I was talking about Eileen? Okay. When you're doing a plank from your toes to your hands, okay, is that the longest lever that you could create in that position? Technically. You could put your hands out in front, but. Yes? Okay. Everyone do a plank real quick. Hey, Shaylin.
High plank, low plank.
Whatever one you want. Can you teach them how to do the world's toughest plank, please? Great. I know. Hey, I agree. It would be nice. Let me get past my panic attacks. Okay, so everyone hold on. Watch Shaylin. She's going to do a normal plank where she's not very active. Bring your hips. There we go. Great. This is what I see all the time, and I see people say all the time. I feel like in a plank, everyone told me my body should be straight, flat down. When her belly button and hips are closer to the floor, does it flex or extend her stomach? Does it put her front side in flexion or extension? Can you? What do these muscles on the front do? Flexion. Okay. What'd you say? Well, technically, yes. Okay. So if the muscles on the anterior side do flexion and anti-extension, and I put myself into extension, am I stretching these muscles? Do they work well when stretched? Great. So when we do push-ups or planks, they should feel like hollow bodies. Can you do a hollow body, please? And I want you to put your hands up like you're doing a plank while you do your hollow body.
Like this?
Yep. That is a hollow position. Her legs are up, okay? It doesn't need to be as pronounced off the shoulder blades. Yeah, what are you talking about? Come on, keep going. Let's go, kid. Come on, you're 29 years old, right? Yeah, curls it up, you're fired. Okay, so when we do the hollow position, she is trying to bring her pubic bone, which is where the muscles are, to her rib cage, which is where the muscles are. So the six-pack muscles bring you into flexion, and flexion is just anti-extension, right? If I'm in flexion, it's resisting extension, okay? So now do that plank position. See that? Now roll over and do a plank. It should feel the exact same. If her hips come down, do you feel like you can squeeze your stomach super hard?
Nope.
Can you now do the world's hardest plank? So do you see how her toes got brought closer to her elbows? Now relax. Now do the world's hardest plank. She is trying to pull her toes and her elbows through the floor together, flexing her quads, flexing her glutes. Is it much harder?
Yeah.
Great, now everyone do a plank. Except me. You don't have to, Shaylin, you're fine. Okay, now relax. Just, toes are relaxed, quads are relaxed. Now flex your glutes and quads really hard. Tyler, bring your hips up a little bit. Great. And now bring your toes and your elbows as close together as possible, like you're trying to crunch yourself in the middle. Pull. Okay. You fuckers. Tyler, bring your toes back. Just dig your toes down and in. So you should feel like you're trying to crunch your toes and elbows together and pulling yourself in the middle. Is it much harder?
Yes.
Great. Do you feel your stomach more? Yes. Okay. So when you're watching someone plank, it doesn't need to be as pronounced as a big curve on the top end. You guys can relax now. But it should not feel like the whole anterior chain is just kind of like hanging out down there. It should feel like your quads are flexed. And imagine, can I see this pole real quick? This is what your front side should look like this. That is what you're trying to do. You're trying to bring, these are my ribs, these are my toes. You're trying to bring those together like this, okay? You're trying to crunch down from here to here and pull, okay? Great.
Is there a difference between an RKC plank and world's toughest plank?
I don't know. That's a great question.
Because that's what I've always known that as an RKC plank.
I just saw it as the world's toughest plank one time. I don't know the name. I just used that one.
It's Pavel's version, so it's just the Romanian kettle something.
Oh.
It's actually,
Oh,
What is it?
Russian.
Russian guy, the Pavel Tatooine,
Arcade.
RKC.
It's an RKC plank. Russian something. But that's what I always understood that as, because you're taking a yielding exercise and then adding a overcoming that
Yeah.
you're adding to it. So now you're getting both stimuluses, and so that way you're actually making it not just shear forces on your spine because you're hinged over, right? Because you're bent over, you're flat. But now you're also then compressing this way. So you're trying to actually simultaneously axial load while going through shear. Because obviously a squat, you're axial loaded. You can handle a lot of pressure. The moment you come here, then your discs can shear on each other, and that's why this is more problematic than a squat for most people and or more painful. And so you're trying to do both within that same stimulus, like bracing on down. But I don't know if it's the same thing.
I don't know. The person that I watched talk about it was like, these should just be called planks. People just plank incorrectly.
Correct. Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's
the
kind of
whole
funny.
argument. That's the whole argument with RKCs. It's probably the same thing, different name.
Yeah.
I'll have to look. I don't know.
Okay, that's it. Any questions?